Hello Sagittarius, Sagittarius Moon people, and Sagittarius Rising people. This is your weekly astrological and card horoscope for the week starting July 24th, 2017. And I'm actually doing this on a different camera because these files will be smaller, faster to process, and faster to upload, so we will get them out ready and raring to go. And a quick reminder for those of you who live on the Eastern Hemisphere, remember I'm actually making this according to calendar dates that sync up with where I am, West Coast, United States, Canada. So if you are in the Eastern Hemisphere, you're going to be a day ahead. So Monday for me may very well be Tuesday for you, and so on and so forth. So it's important to keep that in mind. You know, the planets are doing their own thing, you know, when it comes to astrology. They don't really care about man-made calendars, Gregorian calendars, and things like that. If we had control over the planets like that, it would be a different kind of world we live in. But just a quick reminder, so, you know, just remember to advance things accordingly when it comes to calendars and time. Also, for those of you who have purchased the Tarot Home Study course, or those of you thinking about purchasing the Tarot Home Study course, I'm actually adding some additional materials to the drop boxes that I've given you links to. Or if you haven't purchased and downloaded it yet, you will get that. So at the end of this week, there will be new spreads and some extra learning material in there for you as well. So, you know, it's almost like you purchased a membership that keeps on updating and you only had to pay for it once. So if anyone wants to dive in on that, remember it's only $35. You can do so at my website, integrativemysticism.com. It's the same place you would go to get a session with me. So, what is going on with the astrology this week, Sagittarius? Well, this week, on Monday, we've got Venus, planet of love and harmony, in your 7th house of committed partnerships and your closest one-on-one relationships. That's your boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, roommate, you know, all of those people you spend all your closest one-on-one time with. It's forming an opposition to Saturn, currently retrograde in your sign. And this is an energy that creates a bit of buyer's remorse in some fashion when it comes to a commitment that you have going on. Now, I don't think it means there's a buyer's remorse about a partner that you have, but I do think that there may be some tension where a partner or somebody you partnered up with has not expressed second thoughts, worry, or fear about something that the two of you have embarked on together. Something that maybe we didn't make this decision with them in mind all the way, or they didn't speak up fast enough, and they could have contributed this information a bit sooner. Could be some tension going on Monday. On Wednesday, we've got the Sun conjunct Mars in your 9th house of higher education, travel, government legal proceedings, and your spiritual life. And when we look at the Sun conjunct Mars, it's a battle we need to fight. And it's a battle that comes with its own fair share of rewards and incentives to do so. You know, Mars is the planet of action, it's the planet of energy, and it's also the planet, again, of not being afraid to fight your own battles and to not procrastinate your battles either when it comes to your life. And when we look at this, this could be a fighting within a group, or fighting with a group. You know, whether it's, you know, an issue going on with tension in a work circle, with a spiritual circle, with an educational circle, maybe even with a school or a board or an organization that you're a part of or something that you attend. This may be something that you actually do need to go and, you know, again, defend yourself with or initiate war with. You know, sometimes we got to fight to get that permit, get that license, get things expedited. Sometimes we got to go and contest or appeal a decision made on behalf you know, by an academic board or something along those lines. And this week, don't be afraid to do that. Do not be afraid of conflict. So what's going on with your spiritual advice? Well, we've got the Hare in the Druid Animal Oracle. Remember, we changed oracles recently. And the Hare always talks about a very interesting transition about to happen, because there's two things that are working in your favor. The Hare talks about things moving quickly and actually, you know, becoming more fertile and more I guess you could say, more abundant in your life very, very quickly. And when we look at the Hare, things tend to take off very, very quickly. So whatever you put forth into motion starts to, you know, gain traction and pick up speed. Whatever you're trying to get done. But be careful this week, because that can also work against you. Because the Hare and the Rabbit can also be seen as sort of the fear caller. You know, where are we accidentally manifesting or pulling ourselves closer to the things we don't want in our life because they're occupying a lot of our time, energy, and we're pushing energy in that direction. Good or bad, it's happening quickly this week if you allow it to and choose to participate in that energy. And if you're happy with the good coming quickly, that's great. But if you're not good at stopping the bad from being the focal point of your energy. Learn to redirect. So what's going on with your Earth sector? Well, for your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, it's got the King of Wands reversed. There could be some issues going on this week. The King of Wands reversed can often indicate a situation where a person is attempting to bail out of something important, something that you are either both involved in, invested in. You could even be the one tempted to bail. Okay, you are a fire sign, and the King of Wands reversed can show up as a fire sign, a Sag like yourself, or it could be an Aries or a Leo or somebody with a heavy amount of those energies in their astrology chart. And when we look at the King of Wands reversed, we need to pay attention to where somebody cannot finish something that they've started. This could be a situation with a client. This could be a situation with a tenant. This could be a situation where a person has put down money, time, and energy on something. It's their loss if they walk away from it. But be careful this week. You may be finding yourself a bit short-handed, whether it's you who's taking off or they are. And we're going to need to be able to fill that void very, very quickly. It doesn't mean that the project has to suffer or fail by any means. And the King of Wands reverse can also indicate, again, a need to stick up for yourself, because somebody may be averse to the hard work. They may feel like something takes too much work, or they don't have the energy or the concentration, or they're too stressed. That doesn't necessarily mean that everything needs to be put on hold so he can get his bearings straight. Something's off here, but we need to, the show must go on. For your communications with air, when it comes to your friends, your relatives, and the others in your life, we've got the Five of Pentacles reversed. Unexpected allies are showing up for you this week. Help is on the way. In fact, usually with the Five of Pentacles reversed, we see a friend or a relative actually showing up to help us by actually taking over for us, doing something in our stead if we need to replace ourselves with something very important, or they are, again, coming to fill the gap or fill the void left by another person. Whether they're filling that void or that gap just by being there with their time, energy, and efforts, just being a warm body in that space, or they're coming and actually filling it with resources, possibly even a financial supplement coming your way this week. So if you're counting on that extra help, or again, a bolster to your team size, we finally have that. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the Four of Cups reversed. Now, the Four of Cups reverse is interesting because it does talk about, not climbing back into a rut once it's busted. All right, looks like our challenge with the Four of Cups reverse is saying we're already getting broken out of our rut. Something random is kind of getting out of our comfort zone is going away. Our bubble is being burst in some fashion. Now, we all have little bubbles. We all have little social bubbles. We all have little hidey hole bubbles. Usually we keep those among our friends or our homes or whatever. But there's a disruption in one of those areas. And the interesting thing about the Four of Cups reverse is saying, there's a need to pay attention to why this is absolutely necessary in your space. Sometimes a bubble or a safe space turns into an echo chamber. It's no longer is it a place for, for safety, comfort, and, respite, but it's almost more like a ward, And we need to be allowing that to change and evolve and twist and turn as it will. So your challenge this week is not resisting this or trying to build it back up the way it was, because there may be something that needs to go that you may be afraid to let go. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Knight of Swords reversed. And again, there seems to be an issue with communications going on the love front. And with the Knight of Swords reversed, we do have somebody speaking up, but it's abrupt, it's brusque, it's blunt, it's almost just too much. And a lot of it has to do with, I think, a crush or a partner may, again, be coming out with a lot of stuff that they've been keeping from you. Not in a scandalous way, but I'm kind of feeling like because either A, they're not sure of their ability to speak. Sometimes when it comes to the Knight of Swords reversed, we do see people who, their words trip over their tongue. They don't know how to express themselves very well. They get frustrated not only because of that fact, but the fact that they're not speaking at all. And it's almost like in the effort and the energy for them to make up for lost time, for not being able to communicate, it all comes rushing out in a way that's almost, again, a bit too much to handle, a bit too hot to handle. And the important thing to pay attention to with this Knight of Swords reverse is that they may actually be sharing a lot of the truth, but you don't want to be in a situation where they stay riled up because they're not communicating. And, you know, where it's kind of like, okay, there's a binge and a purge and a binge and a purge. We need to pay attention to where this situation has built up over time, and this person did not let anyone know that they were uncomfortable or that something was wrong. If this is not your partner, this may be a third party that you and your partner share a lot of time with, whether it's a housemate, a child that you have together, a relative. It's important all of this comes out. It's definitely coming out the wrong way, but it's important that it's coming out. All right? So I hope that made sense, and I hope you found this helpful, Sagittarius people. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And, of course, if you ever want to get a session with me or get the Tarot Home Study course, you can follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com.